All right, man.
Let's do it.
Sunday night sounds like Texas, and so does Ryan Hunter
Hey, come on. Thank you so much.
in
Thanks for having me.
Houston by way of New Braunfels. Welcome, man.
Yes. Hey, thank you for so much for letting me be here.
Dude,
So
I'm
fun.
pretty excited to talk to you. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm relatively new to your music,
Yeah.
but every time I spend time with it, I can't stop listening to
I
it.
love that. That's great.
It's reminiscent of some things, and I guess right off the rip, who were your biggest influences? If you had to say two people,
Man, I grew up on like George Strait and Alan Jackson and whatnot, but I wouldn't say they were like necessarily what influenced me. I think my like personal independent liking of music started with like Co Wetzel and Parker McCollum and Whiskey Myers, even like those are kind of maybe the big three.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny. Like my music, I feel like there's not really one guy I would nail down and be like, yeah, that's the guy that I look up to the most. It's like I listen to a lot of music and I just hear things and I'm like, oh, dude, I love the way that delivery was or that melody, and it spurs something in my mind to, write or compose myself.
So at first listen,
Yeah.
and I hate comparing people to people, but these
curious.
two,
Yeah.
these two, I think are worthy of the comparison, and I think hopefully you'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I think you sound reminiscent of Tom Petty
Okay.
and William Clark Green.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got at first listen.
That is the first I've heard that. So
Yeah.
This is great. I always get these random array of things. People say I look like Morgan Wallen every once in a while.
yeah. I was like, who does he look like?
No, yeah, I get that a lot. I gotten
That can't be bad though, right?
No, actually, I remember one day I wore a felt hat and like a denim shirt, and someone said I looked like Zakk Top, and I was like, "There's no way, you're just talking now." like those are two polar opposites of the country music spectrum, anyways.
That's
so
awesome, man.
That's funny.
Now
Yeah.
people are going to start thinking Alan Jackson might be your dad too.
He's my grandpa. I guess.
yeah. That's awesome. Again, Ryan Hunter is here tonight, and my featured artist this week out of New Braunfels. I want to get some silly questions out of the way, and then we'll get back to the music. And he's also going to play a couple of songs for us tonight, which I'm excited about. New Braunfels is like a town with like serious Texas roots.
Oh, yeah.
It's always on every Texas map, and it's been circled at least once or twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's one thing about that place? And that's your hometown?
It's not my hometown. I actually grew up in Missouri City, so right down the road.
No kidding, Mo City?
Yeah, Mo City. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I grew up in Missouri City and lived there my whole life, and then went to Texas A&M, and then after leaving Texas A&M, I was like, you know what? I don't want to.
I didn't know you were an Aggie either.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, and but I just decided I was like, I want some change. I want to go somewhere that feels different and looks different. So I decided to go out to New Braunfels, and yeah, dude, I've loved it. It's
I bet.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a vibe. What's one thing that the rest of Texas wouldn't know about that place unless they live there?
Dude, I'm so biased, but at the same time, I think that the music scene in New Braunfels is not talked about enough, and it's not discovered enough, truthfully. I'm so happy and proud to be the mouthpiece of this. I can name at least a dozen guys that are making high quality music at a really great level in New Braunfels right now that probably never heard of. And it's like all different types of Texas country music that you can say is reminiscent of other sounds that you could say is fresh and new to the ears, but and we're all like one bunch, and so I'm like really excited to see maybe how this plays out as the years go on, because we're all kind of starting at the same line and moving together, and just to see kind of I always look at like what Cross Canadian Ragweed and Randy and Wade used to do back in the day, and I talked about this on a different podcast, but it was like they brought each other into the limelight like consistently when they were coming into the scene and being known, and I feel like that's something that's happening in New Braunfels right now, which is really neat. So, if obviously there's a lot to know about New Braunfels. There's the rivers, there's Schlitterbahn and whatnot, but man, the music scene is something that even if you travel into town, you recognize. But if you really did a deep dive, I think that you would be really impressed if you are a music listener. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Sherry, who lives there, and she was like, man, you got to come check out the scene. She's like, you can go watch live music on a Tuesday.
Oh yeah, every night of the week, dude. We call it mini Nashville. We always, because it's like everybody sees Austin as like the live music capital of the world. which it is. But I'm like, man, if there's a place that is reminiscent of Nashville and Texas, I think it's New Braunfels. I don't think it's Austin. And so, I mean, a lot of guys, I mean, there's a lot of studios in New Braunfels, a lot of Texas legends that are country music artists live in New Braunfels as well. And so, so it's kind of a hub that like is almost secret, you know what I mean? And it's like, we're not trying to keep it a secret, but it's like, that's how it feels sometimes, you know, but
it's a special little thing going on there right now, man. That's so cool, man. I appreciate you sharing that info with me, because I definitely haven't heard that perspective. I don't get a lot of artists in here, so you got to send those 12 my way.
Yeah, I will.
Please do, man. If you had to pick between Texas barbecue, Tex-Mex, or I don't know, some other seafood maybe, like what's your Texas cuisine choice?
This is a crazy question. I love food. Like I may not look the part.
I definitely do.
But man, I love all kinds of food. I like barbecue. I think I got to have barbecue on a good day. I think growing up in this area, in the Houston area, I think I'm more inclined to Tex-Mex. There's a lot of great. That's the one thing about New Braunfels that kind of burdens me sometimes.
There's not good Tex-Mex there?
It's just not as good as what you get over here, you know? And so I think that's the problem that I face. You can find some good street tacos and you know, little spots, but it's like, I feel like in Houston, everywhere you go, there's good meat.
Dude, truly, Houston has the best Tex-Mex taco scene there is.
Hands down. Like it's I've been everywhere, and I promise you there's nothing better than this area.
We got it on lockdown here.
Yeah, man. But I love seafood too, so that's so tough. I mean, I'd probably say Tex-Mex though. I think that's probably my.
Well, and what I love about Tex-Mex is you could get, you know, like the Veracruz plate with some shrimp. So.
Oh yeah, you could, yeah, exactly. My go-to is like shrimp enchiladas. So exactly. That's both worlds.
Ryan Hunter, my guest this week. Sunday night sounds like Texas here on 100.3 The Bull and the free Audacy app worldwide. You can download that in the App Store. AUDACY. What's the craziest thing? So Texas. And like we were talking about in the New Braunfels scene, has some crazy music fans. What's the wildest thing that's ever happened to you or you've seen on stage?
Oh man, yeah, we've had we had a crazy trip to College Station a couple of weeks back. I don't know if maybe you saw it or not, but we took a limo down there because our van broke down, and so my bass player was like, you know what, I've got a limo, we can load that thing down. So we did, which was awesome. And
you're like, now I kind of like it.
No, I know. I was like, why do people not do this? Literally, I'm like, screw the bus, get a limo. Just put a hitch on that thing. And take
that's awesome, dude. Some Longhorns on the front.
Dude, honestly, that's what we were talking about. But we played over in Northgate that night in College Station, and man, I think the thing that I've always chased as an artist, and the thing that like gets me most excited about playing shows and growing as an artist and, you know, making connections with people is the fact that I like the thing I've envisioned the most is seeing people sing my music back to me and like people that are like really resonating with it. Because I get texts and people saying like, dude, I love the new song, I love this, but it's like to actually see that lived out is really cool. And so we went and played this fraternity party actually, and man, it's crazy. There was like half the fraternity was singing my new song that I just released the week prior, Gone. Literally back to me. And then I got off stage and they're like, dude, we've been bumping that in the house all week. We love it. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. So I think that was like a surreal moment, no doubt. But yeah, that same night our limo got towed. So that was that was a whole adventure. Yeah. Dude, we
subscribe for part 2.
Yeah, literally, right? Dude, no, yeah. We joked about it when we got there, and we were like, man, like what if the limo got towed, you know, whatever. Because parking in College Station is just a nightmare. I mean, I'm sure you could probably relate in Houston, but you know, it's a nightmare, and there's just tow trucks always on the prowl, you know. And so we parked, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna pay for parking. He's like, dude, there's no way you could tow a limo anyways. Like, it's too long.
That's what I was thinking.
Ground, right? Like, they're not gonna tow this thing. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pay anyway just to make sure. So I paid for parking. After the show, we opened up the back door to where you could see the parking lot, and I just see lights, you know, and I'm like, gosh, no way. And so we got my bass player to walk over there, and he was like, dude, you need to come over here. So I came over, and sure enough, they dragged it out 10 feet. They took the AC condenser, ripped it straight off the front end. I mean, it was a nightmare, literally a nightmare happening that night. But dude, it was a blast either way. I mean, with that same night, our sound guy is also a DJ, and he invited us to this other place, and I actually wrote a song about this, but we hopped on stage with him, and it was not expected, but he brought us on stage and introduced us, and we were up there for like 45 minutes just clubbing with him. And I'm wearing a felt hat and a Western shirt. So, dude, it just a wild night, to say the least. Just sequence of events was crazy. But
speaking of wild stuff that may or may not happen in Ryan Hunter's future, I got to ask you, I got to get a status check on, has Megan Maroney hit you back?
Dude, I wish. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I know, dude. I mean, no, dude. He's referring to the Instagram post I posted. No, she is not. I hope she's listening. I'm still waiting, if that makes any sense. There's been some resume builders in the comments as well. A guy told me that he was thankful that I saved his fish from a fire. So I was like, man, anytime. So it's just the kind of guy I am, Megan. That is.
That's awesome, man. Well, good luck with that. I hope it works out. I hope you get hope she doesn't leave you unread, man.
I know.
So you've got a show here in a couple of days.
Yeah.
At Green.
Yes.
Have you ever played there before?
No, it's actually my first time playing at Green Hall. Yeah. So really looking forward. This weekend specifically is going to be pretty neat. A lot of first times, a lot of kind of bucket list shows in terms of like moving through, I guess, the ranks of the venues in Texas. But we're playing Paper Tiger in San Antonio, which is more of a like rock venue, I guess you could say, more of like a metal grunge rock kind of venue, but they've got an awesome stage that I've always admired, and so we're playing there Thursday, and then Green Hall on Friday, and then Cheatham Street on Saturday, which will be a first with the band as well. So we're looking forward to that a lot. So,
what are you looking for? Like, what is that moment like for you? Like, we were talking off air earlier about how Zakk Top, had that moment, and he was like, I got to take this in. Do you do that?
Dude, man, I think that's always the biggest challenge. For sure, when I book it, I'm like, oh, yeah, dude, this is going to be awesome. Like, feels like we're doing something, right? And it's like we show up, it's business as usual. But, man, I think that's probably the nature of the life as an artist. Like, you can let a lot of it pass by you. And I feel like I'm still fresh and early, but it's like a lot of it can easily pass by you, and you can't. You choose not to celebrate the moments because then the goals start getting bigger and you start looking at other things. But man, I think no doubt, like, I'm just grateful to be in the position to, one, make music, but two, be able to take my music and carry it to different places and people show up and listen, which is really neat. So yeah, I think that's always the challenge is like, man, how well do you take it in and celebrate those moments, and how well are you not doing that? I think that's probably the main thing there. But
what's been the most, up until this point, what's the most special place that you've played?
Man, I got to play the Fort Bend County Fair last year. We played just a side stage act the same night that Drake Milligan played, and man, it was opening night too. I think that was really neat for me. Just be able to go home and to see familiar faces that didn't know me for music well before I started, and just getting to feel celebrated in that way, and also get to play a place that I've grown up going to and have always admired, and and especially getting to see artists, be on the same grounds, playing the same place, and being one of them now. It's neat. It's really cool. So I think no doubt that was definitely one of the better places, one of the better, I guess, moments I've had so far. But man, I feel like the story's still being written. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's still a lot more to say, and I'm sure we.
Yeah, I'll ask you this again the next time that you come here.
No kidding. Yeah.
Again, Ryan Hunter, sounds like Texas, originally from Missouri City, which I did not know. I feel bad for not knowing that. But everything on the internet, it says New Braunfels on it, which is awesome. Either way, we're happy to have you here. Let me ask you this. So you're stranded on a Texas back road.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have one emergency phone call to make to any other Texas musician.
Mm.
Who's helping you out? Who you calling?
Gosh, this is tough. Man, I feel like there's a lot of guys I wouldn't call. I feel like that's probably the first answer I'd make.
Well, let's go down that road.
Oh, man, I don't know about that.
Because I don't want to call them either.
I don't know about that. Gosh.
You know who you are.
Yeah, they probably do. Man, there's a good buddy. He's probably about the same size. He's probably maybe a little. I mean, we're kind of running this route together, but This buddy named Jake Gardner. He's got a band called the Rough Stock. I'd probably call him. He's probably the most trustworthy guy I know in terms of being able to loan equipment. There's another really good buddy of mine that that no doubt would be there at any drop anywhere we're at. But he's not an artist. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I mean, I feel like a trusted guy that I don't know, but if I had his number, I'd probably call him as Willie Nelson. I mean, that guy's just going at all times.
Yeah.
So there's a chance I'd probably pass by him on the road, wouldn't even know it. So,
yeah.
So
unless you smelled him.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Oh yeah. So I'm a big kolache guy. I think I know the answer.
Okay.
Because we have really good kolaches here in Houston.
Yeah.
But do you like them with the fruit or the meat?
Oh, dude. It depends. Actually, I do like a good fruit. So I had a roommate in college that was Czech, and so he'd always be like, "Dude, not everything's a kolache. The kolaches are the fruit ones, not the sausage and cheese ones because apparently those are called like klobuchnecks, or I don't even know. I don't even know what they're called, but I like both of them, dude. Like I said, dude, I'm the most least picky eater ever. Like, and if it's in front of me, man, I'm eating a kolache. Like, it doesn't matter which one it is. But I do like. I mean, I feel like sausage and cheese is probably what I'd buy more than likely. Fruit kolache.
Do you do sausage, cheese, and jalapeno or no?
Oh, I do, but my stomach doesn't like me.
Yeah, mine neither.
Yeah,
but Shipley's are my favorites, honestly.
See, yes, I do love Shipley's. That's for sure. Yeah, thankfully they're in New Braunfels, so I still get the piece of Shipley's every once in a while.
So a few more of these social media questions.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to stop the recording over there, and I want to get my phone to get some different angles when you play. But
cool.
If you had to pick, do you play cover songs?
I do, yeah. We do play cover songs. Dude, it's kind of fun. Our show, and I don't know, I feel like my music can lend itself to this. The unreleased stuff, I think, will probably lend more to it. But our show is pretty rocking. Like, I wouldn't say it's as far as like a Cody West kind of show or anything like that. But it's like, we have some high energy stuff that we kind of incorporate to our show. And
throwing beers out like Treaty Oak Revival?
I mean, as long as I don't get hurt, that sounds like a good time to me. But no, we don't do that from the stage necessarily. But I mean, yeah, we're rowdy. We have a good time up there, no doubt. I think one song that we've really enjoyed covering recently is old 60s song "Smoking a Light."
Yeah,
that one's been real fun to cover. I'm trying to think what's another.
You kind of look like you could be that guy's cousin.
I probably could be. That'd be a first too. So you could probably just name anybody and you could say.
You got one of those faces.
Sure.
That's good, man. But if you had to pick one cover song to play every night for the rest of your career.
Ooh. Dude, Love by Coetzel, probably. That song has just always been, like, I always go to it. It's never gotten old. Like, it's just a song that I feel like I sing well, and even beyond that, I just enjoy. Like, I love it a lot, no pun intended. But yeah, Love by Coetzel and Park McCollum. That's definitely a good song.
I love that, man.
So yeah,
no pun intended.
Right.
Let's see what else. What's the most Texan thing you've ever done? Have you done the 72-ounce steaks challenge? Like, what was the longest road trip? I know that we were talking also with Nick Russo about the rivers that you like to float.
Yeah.
Like, what's the most Texas thing Ryan Hunter's ever done?
Oh, dude. That's a good question. I have, I'm trying to think. I feel like I've done a lot of Texas stuff. Like, Texas is just in my bones, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I can't even.
Everything I do is Texas.
I mean, living in New Braunfels, I've floated both rivers in the same day before.
That's pretty damn Texas. That's pretty Texas.
You know, you hop on one in the morning, you're like, that's not enough. I gotta go to the Guadalupe now.
Yeah.
And then you finish the night going to a Green Hall show. Like that's exactly what we did that day. So
I'd say
that's pretty.
That's pretty Texan.
Texan. Yeah.
That's postcard stuff right there. Very cool. So if Texas was to be its own country again, which I'm for that.
I am too. Yeah, let's go.
And I mean that.
Yeah.
What would your presidential campaign slogan be if you were running for president of Texas, Ryan Hunter?
It would have to include the word "y'all" for sure. Like, I feel like that's a staple.
Y'all's on the yard sign?
I think it might just be y'all. That might just do the trick, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All I got to say is y'all. Just nice and big. And people are like, yeah, that guy's the guy.
He gets it.
For sure. No doubt, yeah.
All right, cool. And I mentioned this last week. I had Luke Prater here.
Okay.
There are some pretty weird Texas laws.
Yeah.
Did you know, and this is real,
Okay.
that it's illegal to milk another person's cow?
Wow. No, I did not know that.
It is illegal.
It makes sense, though. You know, I feel like that's a violation.
What's your best guess on how that law came about? Like,
dude.
tell me the story.
Yeah, I could definitely.
That leads to that law being made.
That. Yeah, we. I can imagine that they're probably good buddies. You know, like sharing a beer fridge in a garage kind of situation, neighbors, and maybe had one too many one night, slipped out the back. Needed a little milk to wash it all down, you know. Didn't turn out too well, you know, and there's a lot of guns here too. So I can imagine that it was a not a favorable situation where people are like, all right, yeah, we gotta have boundaries. You know? That's my thought. At least,
I love that, man. That's good, man. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. I do. All right, so again, I wanna get you to play here.
Yeah, dude.
And I want to talk to you a little bit more about your music.
Yeah.
But if you could, before you play your new song, give me the backstory on it.
Man. For Gone specifically? Or
No.
For Our Last Goodbye?
Our Last Goodbye.
Yeah, dude. So Our Last Goodbye, I wrote that song probably about a year and a half ago, if I had to guess. It's I guess, fairly new in the scheme of writing and the process it takes to record and whatnot. But yeah, dude, if you really listen to like all of my discography, I probably lend more to the people that have experienced some toxic stuff and some real like just hardship and relationship in general. And so Our Last Goodbye, the thought of that, in fact, the EP that we're getting ready to release here in a couple months, this is one of the songs on it, but it's kind of a concept record that tells one big story. But this part of the story talks specifically about the like almost the words that you want to say to somebody in a situation that you're ready to get out of for whatever reason. And obviously this song very clearly paints like, hey, I could pack up your things, you can give me a ring and just move on, you know? Like that's in the chorus and it's pretty direct, but it's not the story in the greater picture of it is like the guy, you could say me in the story, is ready for the relationship to end. But he can't say those words out loud. And so he's saying this behind closed doors. And so some of the visual stuff that I've done just to promote this song, like I haven't really gone into detail with that specifically, but like, for example, there's a video I posted literally yesterday. It was behind a like glass door essentially. And I'm like talking through the door at the person essentially. And so that's more of like a visual wrapped into, I wish I could say these things to this person, but I'm going to air it out, you know, by myself and get it off my chest so I can just get away from that feeling. So, but yeah, it's just a song about, you know, heartbreak and more than anything, just removal from the situation and the dream of it, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, when I listened to it, bummer here, but I was like, oh, that's probably what my last ex was thinking.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and that's the crazy part is that, you know, I'm not fully innocent either, you know, and so there's some of these songs that I write that is from the perspective of the other person involved, you know, and I'm writing from their perspective, which, yeah, those are just raw and real songs. It's hard to own up in those situations, but yeah, I mean, I haven't had good luck with relationships, so that's
me neither, man.
So that's why, you know, if Megan Maroney's, you know,
I'm the anti-relationship club president.
Dude, make me the vice president then.
You're the VP, dude.
Right there. We're right there.
We're getting jackets next week.
Come on.
Just give me the keys, I'm breaking out of this cell. 'Cause every time I'm around, all you do is just yell. And There's no sense and no beginnings, no chance of recreating the moments. Everything went well. Why string me along when you just leave me to hell? Hell. I'm done saying sorry, you still hold a grudge. I always come to the table, so you never budge. There's no sense and no beginnings, no chance of recreating the moment everything once was. Why string me along when you just want to love? Yeah. I could pack up the things, you could give me your ring and just move on. I'm done playing your games, I got nothing to say. I'm happy alone. Don't even think there's something you could do to ever change my mind. Oh, this is our last goodbye. I really wish things were different, but I can't live this way. 'Cause it once felt like love, now it's just a mistake. 'Cause I used to think it's me and you, but it's clear to me we're through and I'm left just wondering why did I think that you would ever be the person people told me you were. I could pack up the things, you could give me your ring, just move on. I'm done playing your games, I got nothing to say. I'm happy alone. Don't even think there's something you could do to ever change my mind. Oh, this is our last goodbye. Yeah. This is our last goodbye. This is our last goodbye.
Fantastic,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Our last goodbye, Ryan Hunter, Sounds Like Texas. I love that, man. That's such a good song. You have such a powerful voice, man.
I appreciate it, man.
It's like you got some pipes on you, dude.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that a lot.
Where'd you learn how to belt out like that?
Dude, I think I learned the wrong way initially. I grew up singing. I was in a boys choir growing up, and we did all sorts of traveling and shows and stuff for that, which was cool. But it was not by choice. My mom made me do it, and so I kind of stopped singing after that for a long time. Always knew I could, and then I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna sing again unless I learn how to play guitar. And then finally, my freshman year of college, I bought a guitar off of Facebook Marketplace and literally just hopped in my bedroom basically and was like, all right, I'm just gonna figure it out. We're gonna learn. And so yeah, taught myself some cowboy chords and kind of went from there, and then gave myself a reason to sing. And so, funny enough, though, I feel like to answer your question, like I think the reason why my voice has gotten probably powerful and strong in this way is because I was damaging my voice more than anything and was not taking care of my voice for a while. And so I was just like, yeah, any show I can play, like I'll play it. So I was playing like multiple nights a week and 3-hour gigs kind of stuff. And so had a lot of days where I didn't have much voice left, and so I had to push air. But so I kind of found out like, oh man, if I push more air, like it can give me a little bit more of that belt voice that I'm looking for. But thankfully, I was able to use that now for good reason and not just to, make sure I'm not killing my voice every time I'm singing. So
when you were at A&M,
yeah,
did you ever want to be the yell leader?
I don't know. I don't know if I ever wanted to. I mean, I always admired it and respected it. I mean, they're everywhere all the time and doing so many things, and I mean it's cool. I mean, obviously you're the one that's getting, especially in the football stadium. It's like there's 100,000 people that are watching you in moments for direction on whatever yell that we're doing, and so I think I've always admired it. I've never been envious of their schedule though. That's for sure. I've always enjoyed just having my own time in college to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. The reason why I didn't even know what a yell leader was until like a couple months ago.
Yeah,
and then Keller Cox came in here.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Man, I was." He told me about it, and then I did some research, and then I found out that he was basically like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he was the top guy. Yeah.
He was like a big deal before he was an artist,
Mm-hmm.
because of that. And
His
I didn't realize,
crazy,
like,
dude. Yeah, because I've known him. I've known him, not personally, but I've known about him because he was a yell leader when I was in school. And whenever I saw that he was pursuing a music dream, like right after, I was like, oh snap, this is a crazy development. You know what I mean? This is, and he writes great music, man. I've enjoyed his stuff. So.
Yeah, I definitely like him, man. So your tour schedule's pretty stacked.
Oh yeah.
We talked about Green, Cheatham,
Yep,
San Antonio. What is like the most? I guess I asked you this earlier, but what's like the one venue, not that you've played, but that is now on the bucket list now that you have these 3 shows coming up, pretty iconic venues in Texas.
Yeah.
What's like another one that? What's like if you had to have a goal right now?
Yeah. I think there's a couple on that list. I think maybe a big goal is Billy Bob's. Definitely would love to play Billy Bob's at some point. It's kind of funny because like I still do all the booking. I still do like I don't have a booking agent or a manager or none of that. Like, and I've just kind of learned to do it on my own, I guess. And I remember like I'll just fire emails to places that I know I can't get into right now, but I'm just like I'll see what they say. You know what I mean? So I still went to Billy Bob's a couple months ago and. They actually sent me this entire response back, which was really cool. And it was like, basically like, give me a reason why they wouldn't book, which I'm like, of course, like I'm not selling out Billy Bob's right now. Like it's not going to happen. But it was cool. They were like, man, hopefully we'll get to see you in here a couple months, couple years, who knows? So
yeah, that is awesome that they took the time to do that, man.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Definitely.
And that is such a special place, dude.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's maybe my favorite place in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
I feel a different way when I walk into Billy Bob's, man.
For sure, man. It's
I can't really describe it, dude, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's awesome, dude. It's
incredible.
It's my Opry, it's my church.
No,
dude.
yeah, seriously.
I absolutely love that place.
I agree.
So, when you're out as a support act, right? Like, what do you get? Like, what's the most fun part of opening for somebody?
Yeah, I think one thing that's really neat about it that I've enjoyed. I mean, we really hadn't pursued opening act stuff until probably really January was kind of when we really pushed for that hard and started to make those connections. But man, I think the thing that I've enjoyed the most so far, just in the little experiences that I've had, is like one, you get to get connected to somebody that maybe you don't know, or maybe it is like a reunion, getting to hang out with some guys. But there's like this mutual like agreement in the industry that's like unspoken that I feel like that's like, man, if you're hanging out with that person for the night, like take some time with each other and like bounce ideas off each other and like learn from each other. And I think for me, it's like, man, there's still so much for me to learn in the industry that I've just enjoyed being like I guess a note taker, just like a scholar, a student in those situations where I can ask the questions and be like, man, like how have y'all found success on these specific things, or whatever it is, and just getting to hear what they have to say and learn in those ways is neat. And I love, like, one of my bucket list things this year is like any night off that I have, like go find a show and watch it, because man, I think it's important, probably, especially as a guy that's growing in this industry, to like understand what everybody else is doing, guys that you admire, maybe guys smaller, like regardless, it's like there's things to learn. There's things that help reinvigorate like inspiration in me as well. Kind of keeps it going a little bit. And so I've really enjoyed that as well. Just getting it. And sometimes like, for example, like I went to Silverado. I don't know if y'all watched them, but
oh yeah,
phenomenal show. But got like just knew a guy that was there that night and hung out with them the whole night after that. And it was like all I did was show up, you know. And so and just getting to learn from Mike and Zakk, their steel player. And
man, I heard he was leaving.
Yeah, I literally saw that right before I got in here.
Yeah, what crazy, a bummer.
Man. He played steel on 2 of our songs actually. That
oh, no kidding.
Are about to come out. Yeah, so so we, you know.
Did you make that connection at that show?
No, so my producer, his name's Adam Motor. He's like a Texas vet. He was a part of like the Dixie Chicks part, like stuff like way early, and has been a part of a lot of like Red Dirt Legends like projects in some small ways. But so he's like connected to everybody. But Silverado is the one band that he's always produced like for a long time. And so when I did this project with him, without him, we were talking about like all the auxiliary instrument stuff that we want to throw in, and he was like, "Man, I'm gonna call Zakk up to try to get some steel on this track or these 2 tracks." And I was like, "Dude, yeah, heck yeah!" And so it was pretty neat. That night actually is when I met him, and was like, "Dude, I don't know if you remember this, but because I wasn't there in person whenever he cut it, but I was like, man, you cut 2 of my songs." He's like, "Oh, dude, yeah, those songs were freaking awesome," you know. So which made me feel good about myself,
right.
You know. But yeah, dude. So it's crazy how like interconnected this, or how small this industry gets once you like kind of put your foot in the door and start to meet people and learn from people and get connected to other people. So
I also think it's interesting that you mentioned that, you know, you're always trying to be a sponge and soak up knowledge. And,
dude.
And just you're hungry for this, right?
Yes.
And I think, I mean, if you know the story about Zakk from Silverado, like that dude learned
to be in the
just
band.
to be in their band.
Yeah.
You know, so kind of cool that you brought that up, man.
No, definitely. Yeah.
Ryan Hunter, Sounds Like Texas. Again, my featured artist this week. It's been real cool hanging out with you. And I would like for you to play one more song, but I got a couple more questions. If you had to have a collaboration, or if you had the opportunity to collaborate with any Texas artist, who's that?
Man, I'd be honored on a lot of different Texas artists' tracks. Man, I think Randy Rogers for sure is probably one of them. I think that's another guy that I've listened to for a very, very long time, and all growing up, and that I've really loved his music. And so, man, it'd be pretty neat maybe one day to do that. Man, there's so many guys I could think of though. It's like I just want to be connected, and if there's any way that they're like, "Oh yeah, hop on this," or you know, vice versa, that'd be pretty neat. It'd be special.
Yeah,
so,
I love Randy too, man. Yeah. So I totally get that. I think that's a great answer. What's something that your fans don't know that might surprise them that you could share, like a little nugget that you've been waiting to give to the world? And here we are in your hometown of Houston. 8 million people potentially listening.
I hope. That'd be cool. Man, well, I mean, this is coming very soon, but finally getting some new merch together, and so, which has been a grueling process. Merch is just like the hardest thing to do, man. I swear, it's like, especially when you don't have that guy yet. That's your hookup for it. But yeah, so we got some new merch coming. We have, I mean, I haven't really announced that I'm releasing this EP yet. I was gonna wait a couple weeks, so this is new news. But this EP,
awesome.
I'm releasing this EP Memorial Day weekend on May 23rd. So I'm looking forward to that. It's called Crooked Love. So this should be good. I'm excited for it.
So brand new Ryan Hunter, the EP. This is the first time you've announced it?
Yeah, literally.
I'm on.
So might as well.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
So that's crazy. Yeah, that was my last. That was one of my last questions. Was like, what's on the horizon? Yeah. But the EP, new merch. That's got to feel good. Have you had merch before?
No, actually, I say new merch. Yeah, no, I haven't had merch before. It's so funny because like. It's like one of those things I've been kicking down the road, and I don't know why, because I'm like, man, that's like a good way to like earn support and in the industry and like make some money to be able to do what I'm doing. And I haven't done it yet. So it's long awaited. I've had a lot of people being like, when's your merch coming?
Right,
like,
right,
dude,
right.
I don't know. I need to,
Yeah,
I
that's
need to
exciting. Now you need a merch person.
I need a merch guy. Yeah, so LinkedIn, someone go find it.
That's awesome, man. I want to get you to play one more, and then I also have 3 things you never knew about Texas.
Okay.
That I would like to not necessarily educate you on because you're a native.
Yes.
But there are so many people moving to Texas every week, every day. Like 600 people come to Houston, something like that.
Wow.
So I would like to help educate the newbies.
Yeah, of course.
Specifically those from California.
Yes.
You know, on Texas and our traditions.
They must be aware.
And get into some Texas tales. But I did make it special Ryan Hunter edition. 3 things you never knew about Texas Ryan Hunter edition.
Okay, I'm excited for that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I want you to play one more.
Cool.
This one, I asked you to play it earlier, and it's one of my favorites that I listen to. In fact, it might be my favorite out of the 4 that you had on iTunes.
I've got more than that.
I only saw 4.
There's I think 6 now. 7, 6.
Or maybe I only looked at the top songs.
Yeah, it's one of the top songs for sure, though. Yeah.
I looked at the top songs. Long Road Down. So tell me a little bit. You wrote this a few years back.
Yeah, that's the first single ever released. It's crazy, man. This song will kind of always be, I guess, a part of my story because it opened doors I didn't think were going to open as quick as they did. But yeah, Long Road Down. It's honestly one of the first songs I've ever written as well, which is kind of cool. But I wrote that song at the time. I was just songwriting. I didn't really have a plan to like go and record anything. I just kind of found interest in it and started doing it, and then had a lot of people just in the music scene in New Braunfels that were like, "Dude, you're like writing some like legit songs, dude. Like, I think you should really think about this, take this seriously." And so I was like, okay, I mean, I don't even know how to start, but sure. And sure enough, I just started meeting the right people, and then finally it pushed me a little bit of like, okay, yeah, I can go record music. So I recorded that song as well as 3 others in the first batch of songs I've ever recorded out in Wimberley, Texas, and at Yellow Dog Studios. And yeah, dude, I remember we were in the studio, and a lot of these guys, because I didn't have a band yet or anything, so a lot of the guys that were in the room were hearing my music for the first time, and, you know, we're getting to know each other. Even my producer, same thing, like, didn't really know him well, was connected to him through somebody else. And I remember I played that song for them for the first time, and as we started making it, they were like, dude, this one's, like, got some legs. Like, you should go and actually promote this thing to radio. And so we did. And it had a good run on the Texas charts. I can't remember where it's peaked at, but yeah, that song did some well for us. Ended up getting some interest from. It did well on TikTok and, you know, all the social medias and whatnot. Did some interest with some labels and stuff, and so there was it was able to sign a distribution deal out of it, even, which was neat. Was the only reason, really, opportunity wise, why I was able to record this EP was made in part due to them. So yeah, there's a lot to this song that kind of gave me some attention towards me early on, and man, I've been excited to keep the momentum going since. So
man, I didn't realize it was that big of a like a career defining song for you.
Yeah, no, this song for sure. And I don't think I ever envisioned it that way either. I think out of the 4 songs, like I was proud of each of those songs that I brought, but funny enough, like the one that I thought was going to do the best is performing maybe the worst out of the 4, and the one that's doing the best is, you know, one that I kind of overlooked a little bit. And so, yeah, dude, it was.
And why do you think that is? Because I hear that
happens a lot, yeah,
from a lot of people.
Man, I think a lot of times, like, and I feel like I've just learned this from being an artist now. It's like there's so much of like songwriting that is obviously from feeling and like from the process, and that's what artists grip their mind to when they think about a song that they put out. It's like what was the process that it took to make that song, all the way back to the inspiration for the song, right? And I think that the songs that I get most excited about are the ones that don't, like, Long Road Down is just such a clean and easy song, and it's easy to the ears. And so a lot of times there's songs that I write that I'm like, oh man, I don't love this because it's just too like simple. And some people are like, dude, no, that's what you need. Like those are the things that people like hold on to, and this is one of them for sure. Our Last Goodbye, funny enough, is another one of those, and it's doing well right now. But that I didn't, was not but everybody I showed it to before releasing, they're like, dude, yes, like this is the one. And I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy. It's funny. I've got I would not advise anybody on how to songwrite because the way I do it is just atrocious. People would be like, what? Like I've got notes littered around my house. I've got, random voice memos that I can't remember how or when or, why I recorded it. I've got Google. I mean, it's so spread out. It's so sporadic.
Do you write every day?
No, I don't. I've went through a season where I thought that was the trick. And then I was writing a lot of really bad songs.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, maybe this is not for me. I have had like periods of time where I've had like 5 days straight where I'll write like 10 songs a day. And it was like I've had a 5 day stretch where I wrote 50 songs. And it was like, yeah, I mean, just blew it out. I honestly, it's super weird, but like I let my writing come to me a lot. And I keep notes in my phone of like, inspiration and song because sometimes I'll be out in public and something will just come to my mind and I don't have my guitar, so I'm like, okay, like let me go and find my notes and start this off and maybe come back to it later. But yeah, dude, I write a lot like at night. Like it's just like when I'm doing nothing, kind of decompressing the day. Like that's sometimes when songs come. And I've had 2 songs that I've released now that have literally been written the night before going into the studio, and we went and cut them the next day. So it's, it's not like there's any like intention or direction necessarily. Like the songs mean something, they tie to a story, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I've been waiting to write this song for this much time. It's like, man, there's just moments that catch me and I just sit in them and, start writing. So yeah, that's pretty, I guess, a fun fact. So do not come to me if you're trying to learn how to songwrite because I probably do it completely wrong. But
it is interesting
to
hear like the different songwriters, especially when you have artists that are passionate about songwriting and storytelling and their different processes. I do feel like, from what I hear, that a lot of the songs that are career defining, are popular, on the radio or with their fan base, they kind of just come to you, like those 2 that came the night before.
Yeah.
You went into the studio. It's almost like you're a conduit, or an antenna for something.
So it's funny, the song "Gone" that we released, I guess it was the one right before our Last Goodbye. The night before the studio, I was just so giddy. I was like pumped about the songs we were recording and what we had already done kind of pre-production wise for it. And I was just stoked. I couldn't sleep. I was literally just up all night watching, movies and stuff. Cause I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just pumped. And I was watching a movie. It was like 3 a.m. I'll probably never forget this. And there was, I don't even remember what movie it was. I don't even remember what the line that was said was, but they said something and it spurred the first line of that song, which says, "I'm no saint, but I know a thing or two." And I was like, that just got in my head and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to go grab my guitar right now. And I literally wrote that song in like 10 minutes. I recorded it, sent a little voice memo to my producer. Next morning he wakes up and I'm like driving to the studio. He's like, yeah, we're recording that today. Like today we're recording it. And yeah, that's song. I mean, I love that song. It's literally all about, like being in a relationship with somebody who slips away into addiction and they're not the same person you once knew. And so yeah, go check that song out too. But yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm so sporadic with writing that it's like there's not one system that I'd turn to or run to, and so just kind of let it come to me, I guess. So
what's the strangest thing that's ever happened to you? Like have you been on the toilet?
Oh yeah.
Or
oh yeah.
At Waffle House?
Dude, yeah, I've been on the toilet before writing a song. It's so funny. I'd just doom scroll on Instagram. I'm sure everybody does that. And I remember I was like listening to somebody else's song. I was like, oh wait, hold up. I've got so I'm like in my notes app, just on the toilet, just going to town.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So many good things come out of those breaks.
You never know, man.
Yeah, dude. So I would love for you to play Long Road Down.
Yeah,
man, it's been real cool to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to doing 3 Things You Never Do here in just a little bit. Special Ryan Hunter edition, Sunday nights. Sounds like Texas on 100.3 The Bull and the free Audacy app worldwide, man.
Been done wrong too many times in my life. Been beat to the ground in a few fist fights. Been humbled a time or two by the pride blinding my own eyes. Nothing compares to the devil working in disguise. 'Cause I know when you pulled up in my drive last night, I wasn't the first one you called. And I know when you say I love you, oh, it's felt so wrong. And I knew your touch was too good to be true, 'cause it burned right through my heart. I'm done playing games with the devil, so I'm kicking you out. Joy, the long road down, the long road down. And I guess being exposed for the way that you live just isn't your fix. And 'cause when you walk through that door, fist clenched, it made a whole lot of sense. No, you didn't wanna work it out, your mind was already set. And I put my ass on the line too many times, knowing it didn't exist. 'Cause I know when you pulled up in my drive last night, I wasn't the first one you called. And I know when you say I love you, oh, this feels so wrong. I knew your touch was too good to be true. It's burned right through my heart. Done playing games with the devil, so I'm kicking you out. Just the long road down, the long road down. Just packed up in a box left out on the porch. And I would wish you the best, but you had no home. 'Cause I know when you pulled up in my drive last night, I wasn't the first one you called. And I know when you say I love you, it always feels so wrong. I knew your touch was too good to be true. It's burned right through my heart. Done playing games with the devil, so I'm kicking you out. And I knew your touch was too good to be true. It's burned right through my heart. Done playing games with the devil, so I'm kicking you out. Just the long road down, the long road down.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Dude, I dig that one,
long.
man.
Appreciate
I really, really like that, man. And I really, enjoy your voice and just all the conversation today, man. It's been great. I really appreciate you coming by, Ryan.
Yeah, I
it was good to meet you and get to hang a little bit, and I'd love to do it again.
Yeah,
you always got a platform here, man. Wherever I'm at,
that.
if you got something to promote, man, I'd love to have you back. So just
heck yeah, man.
reach out to me.
Come out to any show anytime.
Yeah, I noticed actually. I put one down on my phone. You playing on a Thursday night somewhere?
No, I'm trying to think. We got a lot of shows on the calendar right now.
I don't, like I was telling you earlier, it's like most of my stuff. Oh, it's April 3rd at Rail and Ryan, Navasota.
Yeah, that'll be an acoustic set. Playing out there in Navasota. Playing at, I'm trying to think, Lone Star Saloon out in Richmond, Texas. Next month, April 25th, I believe, and then May 24th. That'll be the EP release show here in Houston. We're playing at the Rustic in downtown. So
awesome.
Yeah. So y'all
that's
come
very
out.
cool, man. Yeah. Congratulations on all that, dude. Keep me posted, man. And let's. When is that? In May?
In May, yeah, May 24th. Yeah.
Maybe you can come back.
Oh, sorry, the EP is May 23rd. Yeah.
Maybe you can come back like first couple weeks of May, and we'll just do like a little quickie or something.
Let's do it.
So we got 3 things you never knew about Texas. Special Ryan Hunter edition. You're the second artist that we've had a special edition of this for.
Come on.
So
I like that.
We're making Texas history right now.
Let's be fun.
Again, 3 things you never knew about Texas is to inform and educate those that might be new to the Lone Star State here. These could be tall tales. It could be 100% facts. We'll never tell you. So I don't know if you know this, but Texas was actually the original location. We were the first place that a tailgate party ever happened. I'm going to tell you that story. Do you know it?
No, I don't know this story. But
See?
that makes me so proud, actually.
Yeah.
Let's go. I would have thought it was like Buffalo, New York or something with those Buffalo Bills tailgates.
I also got some things that you may not know about Green Hall.
Okay, perfect.
You're coming up. You got to show Green.
Yeah.
They got ghosts. Are you afraid of ghosts?
Dude, I've got a crazy ghost story.
All right.
I'll keep it. It's not super long, but we went to this was like, I don't know, when I was like 10 years old, maybe 12 years old. We went to Savannah, Georgia, which is apparently like the most haunted city in America. Like everybody says it's New Orleans. Apparently it's Savannah, Georgia. So we did this ghost tour one night on vacation. My mom, she had a couple drinks that night. She was feeling good. And we're in this ghost tour, and they're like giving us an introduction. They're like, hey, like there could be real encounters on this tour. So like kind of jokingly, they were like, hey, like if you are, we need somebody that's willing to stand up for the ghost. My mom goes, this guy right here, his name's Ryan. He'll be the volunteer. And I was like, are you kidding me, Mom? I was like, there's no way that's exactly what just happened right there. So.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
so we'll tell you about the ghost of Green Hall here. Yeah, I can imagine that would be pretty.
Yeah.
Why is Mom throwing me under the bus?
Right. I'm like, you're supposed to be the adult here.
Yeah.
Like, why? That's crazy.
And the wildest Texas sport ever. Have you ever participated or been to the Rattlesnake Rodeo?
Dude, no. I've heard rumors about the Rattlesnake Rodeo though. It does not. I don't know. Maybe I do want to be a part of it. I should have Google searched this. That's good information.
Let's get into it. 3 things you never knew about Texas. Number 1, Texas traffic. We all know it's not for the weak, especially here in Houston. It sucks.
Yep.
But one time you mentioned Willie Nelson earlier.
Yeah.
If you've ever been stuck on 35 between Austin and San Antonio,
all the time.
I think that. Are you there all the time?
Oh yeah, that's like New Braunfels is like right on 35 in between.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a road that makes preachers cuss, much like 610 and 290 here.
Yeah.
But the legend is that Willie Nelson, once in a traffic jam on 35 near New Braunfels, just pulled over. The traffic was crazy, and then he played a full set right there, roadside. And some folks say that's the first ever tailgate party in Texas.
Really? Wow. Well, I feel like that might put a curse on 35 if that's the case of it being so congested all the time.
That's why.
Everybody's reminiscing on that Willie show.
Let me ask you: if you were stuck on 35 and you had your guitar with you, what's the first song you're playing at the roadside show?
Oh, dude, that's a good question. I'd probably play one of my own. I mean, I feel like that's an iconic moment. You gotta make it a staple. I'm trying to think if I got a song that's like a road song though. Oh, Sticks and Stones. Yeah.
And Long Road Down.
Long Road Down. Oh, duh. Yeah, Long Road Down, of course.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Either one of those.
All right, so Green Hall's got more than just good music. Again, they've got Ghost.
This is good to know.
So if you're not from Texas, maybe you'd like to stay away.
Yeah.
You
probably.
know,
Maybe.
you might
Maybe
get
not.
scared
Maybe
off.
If I'm playing there, definitely.
Unless Ryan Hunter's playing
But
there,
other
then you want to go
times-
show up and see that show. Buy the tickets now.
Yeah, of course.
It's a place where legends are made, but it's also home to an exclusive Ghost band.
Oh, interesting.
Apparently, like late into the night, all night sometimes, this band of Ghost will, play honky-tonk music. Boot stomping's heard. Music's actually heard. If you had to pick and make your own Ghost band lineup, it's Ryan Hunter and the Ghost band. Mm-hmm. Who are the Ghosts from Texas that are playing in your band?
Oh, man. This is good. Dude, I am probably least qualified. I'd probably choose, like, the most random people that are not associated with country music. Like, I mean, because the thing is like, there's still guys alive that that I see as players. I'm like, oh yeah, like Travis Barker on the drums, like, like who wouldn't go there, right? Like, probably go with like Slash or something on guitar, just have him wailing one,
That'd be sick.
Everybody forgets the bass players anyways, so
yeah.
I'm kidding. We gotta love the bass players out there. Yeah, no, I'd choose some sort of Hall of Fame, like just cross genre. Just let's get weird with it.
I love it. Man. I love that, man. Heck yeah, dude. Again, that's the spirits of Green Hall, the ghost of Green Hall. Maybe it's just the wind. Probably not though.
Maybe not. Maybe they're the reason why music sounds so much better there too.
It could be. Yeah. All right, so the wildest sport most have never seen is the Texas Rattlesnake Rodeo. It's actually the Guadalupe River Rattlesnake Rodeo. Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
They don't sell T-shirts down there?
I guess not. I haven't seen. Maybe I have seen it on T-shirts. Maybe that's why it's familiar.
Yeah, the river, the Guadalupe, is not just for a lazy day floating down the stream drinking beer.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it kind of had a different entertainment value, and that was the original underground rattlesnake rodeo. At night, cowboys would get around and they would try to lasso these rattlesnakes.
Wow. I feel like you can make every event in rodeo around rattlesnakes. Like rattlesnake wrestling, steer wrestling. You can make rattlesnake riding.
Rattlesnakes are so scary, man.
I know, dude. I would never. I would never get near one of them things. No way.
This is a true story, but my dad, God rest his soul, crazy son of a bitch. When I was a kid, you talk about being traumatized by your parents.
Sure, yeah.
Dude, I'm like 8.
Okay.
And my dad's best friend was this dude named John Dooley, and he had a son that was my age named Bart.
Okay.
And those two guys liked to rattlesnake hunt. Okay, this was like Cedar Hill, Duncanville area up by Dallas.
Yeah.
They would literally, my dad had like a Dodge Ram Pathfinder truck, and John Dooley had like an F-250, and they would go on these back roads. We'd put a trash can in the back, and they had golf clubs that they had taken the golf club and snipped the end of the club off and welded like another piece of metal so it became like a snake pinner, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that was some of the scariest shit ever.
Yeah, I bet.
So I'd see my dad, they'd have a 6-foot rattlesnake in the middle of the road. They'd put it in the trash can goes in the back of the truck. What's worse than that, though, right? Yeah. I would stay overnight at Bart's house. Okay. And his dad, John, is the one who got my dad into snake hunting.
Yeah.
So one night I'm staying over there. It's like 2 a.m. I'm thirsty. So I go to the fridge, go to get a Dr. Pepper, and there's like a frozen snake.
No.
In the fridge, bro.
Dude, you want to hear a crazy story? So my roommate, actually, in New Braunfels, his name is also Ryan. He used to have 2 snakes that lived with us in the house, and I hated it. I mean, I was like, never bring those things around me. One of them was like actually pretty mean. Dude, I was leaving town one weekend. I think I was playing shows, and literally packing my stuff up, getting ready to go, and he goes, "Hey, don't be alarmed, but I can't find one of the snakes." I said, "There's no way this is happening right now. I'm leaving, but you better find it before I get back." And he's like, "Okay, we didn't find that snake for 3 weeks."
Where was the snake?
We don't know. We still don't know. But here's what we do know. 3 weeks later, 3 weeks later, we were out at the bars in New Braunfels or something, and we leave that night. We get home late that night, right? It's like midnight or whatever, and walk into the house, and I'm like going to bed, whatever. I'm like walking up to my room, and he just starts screaming, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, what in the world? Somebody's here, you know what I mean? I'm like, there's grown men only scream for a couple of reasons, right? And I'm like, man, this is not good. So I'm like thinking the worst. And he's like, Ryan, come here. I'm like, okay. So I come downstairs. Sure enough, that snake is like sprawled out across his bed. And I'm like, dude, there's no way that we just found this snake 3 weeks later, just casually on your bed, you know? Like, don't tell him where that thing was, you know? So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of snakes.
What kind of snake was it, do you know? Was it like a boa or is it like a...
Yes. No. Whatever one is like the biggest you can legally buy that is like, that grows into the biggest... I think it's a boa constrictor.
Maybe. I don't really know much about snakes.
I don't know. Me neither.
I'm not a big snake person.
But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, that snake's gone now.
Have you ever eaten snake?
Dude, no, I haven't, and I don't think I'd ever desire that.
I'd try.
I probably would try it. Like if someone was making it.
I'm at a fair or cook-off or something.
Yeah. I feel
and there's
like
some good old boy in overalls, dude.
Oh, I'd trust that guy.
Yeah.
No
I'm eating
doubt.
his rattlesnake.
No doubt.
Little two-step on it. Yeah. All right. So, if you had to perform in the rattlesnake rodeo, Ryan Hunter, what's your like go-to move? Like to, I mean, is it the lasso?
Yeah. I'd probably pick a weapon or something that is going to keep me as far away as I can. So lasso might be a good move, honestly. I don't know. I mean,
I think if I was going to have to be in the rattlesnake rodeo, I'd want to stay as far away from the rattlesnakes as possible.
Yeah.
And with the rope
makes sense. Yeah.
You get a little distance between you and the snake.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I would think that would make sense. I mean, I can't imagine like just jumping on that thing. That's too risky.
Right.
You know, I'm not trying to die.
Yeah. I hear you, man. Me neither, dude.
Yeah.
Ryan Hunter, thank you so much. That's three things you never knew about Texas. Special Ryan Hunter edition this week. Y'all, he's been my featured artist. I can't say thanks again enough for coming by and playing the songs. Before you leave, though, where can people follow you on socials and get your music and see you and all that stuff?
Yeah, you can check out www.ryanhunterband.com for all future dates. And it's kind of a hot spot for all the links, but my handles are at Ryan Hunter Band on all socials as well. So go check that out. Give us a follow. Let us know where you came from.
Heck yeah, dude. Thanks again, man, for coming, man. I really appreciate it, dude. I had fun.
I enjoyed it.